This is Brindha B, currently pursuing BTech IT third year in College of Engineering, Guindy. I'm a part of the Guindy Times, the official campus magazine of CEG, AC Tech, and SAP. I welcome you all to the post-graduation interview series, an initiative by the Guindy Times to help students get to know about the PG life. Today, we have Ms. Queen Suraajini with us, who has completed her UG BE Geoinformatics in our college and had got a direct Ph.D. from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore. After that, she had worked as a postdoc with Singapore ETH Center and Nanyang Technological University. She is now currently working as Climate Risk Associate with Planetrics and McKinsey in London. We are glad to have you here, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm very glad. I'm honored to be here again to talk to the alumni, to everyone here.
Moving on to the interview. Could you briefly explain about the admission procedure and exams required to be written for the PG admission in Nanyang University?
So in Singapore, there are two major universities, which is Nanyang Technological University and National University of Singapore, which is NUS. So for both universities, they're like the major universities, and recently these universities are collaborating with universities in the US and UK and also in Europe. So there are many research centers and specialized departments also with them. So you can apply for all of that, and there's also SUTD in Singapore. The major ones for masters would be like GRE and TOEFL. And then in NTU, they also recognize GATE exam. So either you can have GATE exam results with a high percentage and also or GRE, that would be useful. And also English as a test language, which is also important. Because there are a lot of people applying. To differentiate you from others, it's important to have GRE or GATE so that you will be standing out the application process. Yeah.
Okay.
And apart from these exams, the other ones would be the final year projects that you have done and your extracurricular activities and your motivation letter, which is really important. All those things will add to your CV and the application.
Could you explain what motivated you in choosing this particular course in PG?
I always wanted to work on climate change impact. Before joining geoinformatics, also I'm from Trichy, where there's this huge Kaveri River. When I remember when I was in 10th and 12th, there used to be a lot of frequent flood events. Like fortunately, we were on the other side, which was not flooded much, but the lower side of the river, which was impacted a lot. So that, and then flood impact, and also I've read a lot about environmental change and climate change. So which I had motivation on climate change impact studies. When I was searching for a master's program, I was searching all over the world, like different places. With I mainly wanted to go with a scholarship. I didn't want to get money from my parents, or most possibly, I also wanted to avoid getting loan. So I wanted to find out places where there are scholarships. US, I didn't think for master's program there are like a lot of scholarship opportunities. But in Europe and in the UK, some of the universities have partial scholarship, and also in Singapore and Japan. So these universities had like a lot of scholarships with funding and stipend. So for me, I started applying for masters, and I wrote to a professor here with my CV and my interest in climate change, who was already working in climate change at Earth Observatory of Singapore, which is part of NTU. Then when he saw my application, he said, instead of applying for masters, you can apply for direct PhD program, which is also at NTU. They said if you apply, then you can get a scholarship and also monthly stipend with that on top of like a scholarship, so which I can sustain my living there. Then I found that as a good opportunity. I applied for PhD under like another. He directed to me another professor from civil engineering department, who is my PhD supervisor as well. So I applied for under him, and then we had an interview over Skype. and we discussed on the project, which is on climate change impact on urban infrastructures, especially like the flood events in Chennai. We see all those drainage system failure.
Yeah.
So I was working on predicting future flood events and also how we can redesign the system so that there is less flood events due to drainage system failure, and also on other urban infrastructures. So that was interesting, which is also under civil engineering. So, and my projects were relevant to that, so I just got it.
Exactly inspiring.
Yeah.
Now, should we have the same major like geoinformatics or civil engineering to pursue a master's in climate change impact?
Not really. So climate change has to study climate change, there are several aspects needed. Not just one aspect is designing a good infrastructure that is resilient to extreme events like flood or other like cyclones, and even drought is also one of the impact for agriculture and labor productivity. So that is one part of it. If you have other climate goals, like for example, someone is designing a battery system that is efficient. So eventually, when you want to reduce the carbon emission, then you want to go for a good like a battery production. So designing of a battery. So it also comes under material science. So each department has something to contribute to climate in terms of designing, in terms of finding out a new device or capturing carbon emission. So whichever suitable, if you just have interest in climate change impact, then there are like several opportunities with this like new climate emission, like carbon emission control. There are a lot of opportunities coming up in every field. It's not just one field. Like there is also someone to design electric cars because we have to reduce oil and gas. So, and there's like a lot of opportunities everywhere. It's not just one field. It depends on your interest.
Depends on our interest. Sure. What are the major differences that you will point out, like between the UG college life and PG college life in general?
UG is like a broader aspect in terms of learning and establishing yourself, and also you're just out from school and you're exploring the world and see what other opportunities exist. So you learn about everything. Like in bachelor's, there are like we have a lot of courses, not at one specialization that you're going into. So it's really good to know about everything, and especially it's also very important in undergraduate level that we interact with other departments, because interdisciplinary projects are more recognized now, because we find solution by integrating all the departments together, not just one. Yeah. So that is one of the major thing that we can learn from other departments, other schools, like in terms of like a lot of problems and solutions in engineering problems and applications. So that is more essential at that time. And also in terms of professional development and personality development, we feel we get a lot of challenges and we learn from them. So like a lot of opportunities, and it's like just new one. So it's quite good in terms of undergrad. And also a lot of culturals which is happening, and tech events. So that is quite a more like establishing yourself part, and also you don't know what's next. It's more like confusion, uncertainty, and then you go into a field which you want to go. So when you go to masters or PhD, it's more specialization. So if you're taking masters, mostly it would be recommended, like people would go for masters and go to industries, like a more specialized industry, so you get like a higher position from the start. So that's one of the advantage of having a master's in a specialization. And if you're going for PhD, it's still further deep down into like deep into one specialized topic. So when during PhD, I realized I had to learn a lot of like courses that are relevant to what I was doing, and on top of that, I had to learn courses in electrical and electronics, like signal processing, which is not there in undergrad. So like a lot of new subjects. So once you finish undergrad, you should have the mindset that you can learn anything. It's not like completely new. So you should have that adaptability to learn other courses that will learn to the research. And most of the years will pass by, like you will be having one problem and finding solution for it. So it's not like you have coursework for definite period, like few weeks, and then you finish it off and go away. So you keep working on it. Sometimes you can get a solution earlier, and sometimes you don't, because the problem is new. There's no other solution existing. So it's like your responsibility to find a solution. That takes, sometimes you get stuck. You will be there for a very long time, like 1-2 years, and the same problem. So that kind of resilience and keep learning and improvising, that would be in PhD. That's my major thing. And also interacting with others, networking on the similar background, and like by going to conference, that would be that's the
Increases our exposure.
difference. Yeah, and major thing, like when you are moving out of India, like there will be cultural change. You have to, even though you see movies, everything by as it would be like a theory. So when you really are there and you're away from family, and that's like a personally, you have those kind of confusion. Yeah, and then taking care of yourself and establishing yourself alone and meeting new friends. It's like creating a new world for yourself then, from undergrad. So those cultural change will take some time. But luckily at NTU, I realized the day we joined, there was orientation. On that day, there was a talk. It said like, we know that you're all going through this change, and this change is really a huge one for many of you. And they had established a society, like a counseling center, where anyone, if you're having any issues adapting to the situation you're facing, personally or mentally, you have new difficulties in a new place, then you can go talk to them and they'll find solution for you. So this kind of comfort was there, and I really admired. It was not required for me, but it's like it felt like comforting that, oh, there's someone to take care of you. Yeah, I think that would be good in undergrad also, because people do come from different background.
Yeah. How was the pandemic affected these process, PG, moving from UG to PG? Has the pandemic had any effect on it?
It did. I feared from like I finished before pandemic. It was no impact, but I feared from friends and other students who were staying with me, like 2 friends. There are a lot of impact, like to change, because there was a travel restriction. So even though you got admission, most of the universities were starting online, which was difficult because you pay so much and you're not experiencing the life that you want to be outside India and meet people, right? That's the main part, reason you apply for masters, not like just a course you can learn anywhere. That was missing. So most of them had that issue of like not meeting people or not having that interaction, and most of them were staying in India. I think last year when the course started, that had impact, even though the admission process was still going on, like unless there's a practical course that you have to be there. And in terms of finding jobs also, it had greater impact, because all the countries are, especially in Singapore, they also had restriction on visa for like students and processing visa. They kept delaying it, and eventually it was open, but it's a slow process. So it takes some time for them to process and make the students come over there. And with the pandemic, even though you move to a new country, you'll be at home. That was also it's like you don't really feel that change or experience. That was a major issue, like for the past 2 years. And I think now it's getting better in many countries. They're opening, and in here it's like it was not restricted until now, and now like with the new variant and winter season, they're trying to have some control. But I think it's changing. It's better now.
I hope this all ends soon so that we can get back.
Yeah.
How different is the placement and job availability once we complete PG from that of the opportunities available after we complete UG?
It depends on the field. Like if you In PG, from my experience, mine is a PhD. So after PhD, usually either people go for academia or to go into academia, like to become a professor, work for as a postdoc for a few years, and then publish more papers and join as a professor. And keep like it's a more challenging outside India, especially in terms of number of publications or number of competitions, like number of people who are finishing PhD, and is most importantly to get funding for your project. So it's important to show that you have a lot of research idea, good idea, that you get funding. That is like one avenue, and the other one go to industry, which I chose. So it's also like more of practical applications and see the real world problems and solutions. So that is like two different areas, and mostly all my friends and who completed a PhD, including me, either they went to a professor position in academia or going to industry as a research in a research and development section, or to like one of my friend was like into research. She worked as postdoc in NASA. So it's like if you want to be in the research, so you can just go into any research organizations around the world. There are a lot of research organizations in every field, not just in climate change, and also in other areas. And in terms of for masters, is mainly industry people are working on, like to get opportunities. It depends, like it takes some time to find the right opportunity, because it's not like a placement that happens in undergrad. So it's not like these companies are coming to the universities and then they're hiring. There'll be like a job fair, you go and meet it will be like different stars and different companies will be there. You go talk to them and network with them. And also to friends who are already working there, you network with them and send in your application. And it would be nice. For each country, there are some specializations. So there are more job opportunities in that particular area. So if you already have an idea on which specialization you would like to go, you can choose a country, like the country that is specializing in. So that would be more easier to find a job. Otherwise, after masters, you can go for other country in finding like new job opportunities. It'll be like maybe the last semester, it would be nice to have like a whole bunch of network who are already there, because that will be more easier to know what is required, how to improvise, get your skills that is suitable for the job. So usually if you're going for masters, for example, there's like if it's in civil engineering, there's environmental science, environmental engineering, which also work on wastewater pollution and wastewater recycling, or the other wastewater processing, like to process it and get a clean water. So it depends. That is really specialized. So it's not like every country is doing it. So if you're taking that particular course, then it depends on where you are, right? So maybe if it's job opportunity, maybe it's like more not a complete specialization. It's like there are different subjects. Even masters also are different coursework. So you will not be like out of like the vastness. They'll be specialized on few subjects. It's not like you'll be in PhD, it's like specialization on one particular topic. In masters, you have like it's slightly broader. So you still have an opportunity. And yeah, you just have to keep applying and get a network of like seniors in that university also, like alumni network.
Okay. What are the few suggestions or tips you would give for students who are currently pursuing PG in general, not like regarding studies, in general about life?
Who are pursuing now PG in India or in general, like anyone?
In general, either abroad or in India.
So any coursework in PG or already specializing, you have better knowledge than others. You can do a project. In addition to that, eventually when you go into a job, it's also like it's all more on how you prove yourself, how you keep learning. It's not like after undergrad or after postgrad you stop learning this. So when you find a job, it's more important to show that you can learn stuff and keep improvising yourself, because it's completely irrational to expect anyone from undergrad or postgrad to know what the company is already doing. So it's like, you match the requirements, but you should show them that you can learn and improvise yourself and keep learning through the process. And that's important. And also there'll be a lot of um, change and you, when you are earning yourself, it's like it's exciting, and also you have to learn to manage your finance. And also there'll be a lot of uncertainty and like what to do next and how to go to the next high level. So it's like you keep learning, and also of not giving up, because at some point if you're feeling stressful, then it's important that you manage your stress well. So it's not like you just cannot give up on anything. So not giving up, keep going on. That's important. And to manage stress, you always talk about stress in undergrad. I didn't understand that much. It's like something it just we can manage. It's like it's not that you have to be mentally prepared for anything. So yes, other than the job, other than career, it's personally you should have your maintain your health, exercise, and healthy food. That's very important, because a good mind and healthy body is important to accomplish anything. So that part we don't concentrate much, but that's really essential. So that one I would suggest.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Your opinion on few words about this PG interview series initiative by the Guindy Times.
Oh, I'm really happy that it started. It's like you're networking with alumni. Like I passed out in 2011, so now it's 2021. 10 years after you're reaching out, it's quite impressive that you connect with others, and it's really good to have that network, because after passing out, like it will be good to be in touch for us also, and also for you also to have all these opportunities outside. Anyone like any outside academia, universities. It's great. We didn't have. I think when we had during undergrad, the internet was. I don't think we had all this group or Facebook, or was not that famous, or it's not used by everyone. So it's quite good now. We can connect. It's really, and it would be nice. Like for us, it was like very few seniors to whom we contacted, or either through email. But now we have a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of people, like not just me, like other fellow like seniors for you. So it's quite good. I'm really impressed and happy for all of you.
Thank you, Ka.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much for your valuable time, Kam. It was pleasure talking to you. We, the Guindy Times, wish you all the very best for all your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, and I wish you all huge success, and keep in touch. If you have any questions, do let me know, and all the best for everyone.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.